not be here this evening, and so they will have a chance to click on that then on our district website. If you'll stay muted when we're in the breakout sessions, that's not as important, but if you'll stay muted to begin with, as I said, try and have your videos on as much as possible. And we're gonna try and get started here, Ed, with.
Well, I think we still have a glitch because I do not have share ability. The host has disabled participant screen sharing. I'm not sure if that is Chris who is in control of that, or if that is the
you should be able to now. I've got it fixed.
MEGAPETS. So let me try it again. Yes, now I think we're ready to get going. Okay. And make sure that I click all the right buttons. All right. Does everybody see this?
Yes.
Yep, looking good.
Excellent.
See it.
Now I think someone is going to ask me to give control to them.
And it's not allowing me to do that. So you may be clicking slides for me then.
I can do that.
Okay, so this is welcome to MEGAPETS District Session 1 for District 6540. I think I've looked through here pretty well during the first part of it. And other than the one gal that we had on earlier from 6450, I have to really think about saying that. I think you all looked like familiar names to me and faces from what I've seen. So welcome. Go to the next slide then, Ed. So as you know, I'm District Governor-elect. Most of you were at pre-pets, so you've seen me. This is what happens when you're in a virtual conference. If you see, I did get my picture taken with Shaker. I stood in front of my screen here and took a picture and it put it in with their picture. So obviously it's not the best. You'll see in a minute what I mean by that. The other thing is this year, my club, it's a small club, but we did a walk around on Polio Day, just around our courthouse, which is right across the street from where we meet. So just trying to bring a little bit of awareness, and it was good for my club because that's not always something that we participate in. Okay, so what are our objectives for today? First of all, you're going to meet the leaders again here, and we have a few additional leaders that you're going to meet today. We're going to do some breakout groups to build our synergy among each other, hopefully so that when we do meet in person, we will already know each other a little bit and have started that process. You're going to hear about foundation from Ron John Kinney, who is going to be the foundation chair in the coming year for the district. You're going to hear about grants from Mike Crable, who is our grants chair, district grants chair. Membership attraction and engagement from Carla Herr, and innovative clubs from Rick Zolman. And we'll introduce them all here in a moment. Okay. So this is what I mean when you get to meet in person, you get a lovely picture during Rotary International Assembly for District Governor-elects with the incoming president. And so at this point in time, I'd like to introduce John Frischi, District Governor. John?
Thanks, Jane. Yes, that's an experience I wish you could have had. I'm glad that Sue and I got to experience that. It was very enriching. Little did we know where the train was running off the track later in the year, but it's been a great year. It's been exciting, and I can only give you good news about the district, and I'm not going to do that now, but if you want the commercial away, send me an email. Okay?
Okay, thank you, John. And I guess I would say the same thing for each of you as president-elects. It certainly is a lot more fun doing it in person and getting to stand right next to each other. But hopefully hopefully we're going to have some opportunities later on in the year to get together. Next, I'd like to introduce District Governor nominee, Tim Gibson. Tim?
Am I unmuted? Yes, I am. Okay. Hi, all. I am happy and pleased to be kind of to be right in the middle of things. I'm right in the middle between John Frishy on my right and Jane Roush on my left. And I look forward to serving Jane. And we've already started that process and helping her get through her goals and objectives for this new 21-22 year, and helping John finish the race and with all the goals that he wanted to accomplish done, so we can all be proud of this district. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. And next we have he has all kinds of titles, our district governor nominee designate and our district trainer, Ed Van Wyk.
Thank you, Jane. It is great to be here with you this afternoon. Yes, I have many hats, and I can put this one on. That's from Atlanta, where I was at the International Convention, and that was great. And today, I'm just happy to be here with you and to talk about how we can work together to make this a great Rotary district.
And then I'd like to introduce you to Chris Widener. He is our district secretary. He is the one that you'll hear from quite often with a lot of information. He's also the one that if you have a question about anything related to technology, I don't want him to have to spend a whole lot of time, but he is your man. He's my go-to guy. So, and he's all of our go-to guys in terms of help. So Chris?
I look forward to working with all of you in the coming year. I'm going to apologize now for saying the word communication, because you're going to hear out of my mouth a lot. You already heard me say that at pre-pets, but I can't say it enough. Just keep an eye on emails, and we're going to have a great year.
Thanks, Chris. And I think that's one thing for all of us. I know for me, if you just at least respond to an email with, I'll try and put something in there so that you know what to say back. But yesterday, I know when I had to send out the quick email, just getting that yay back or that yes back that I received it, then I know you have received the email, first of all, and have gotten the information. And then we're on top of making sure that you have the resources that you need. Next, I'd like to introduce, I know Mike Crable's already on. Ron John may not be here yet because he is in a faculty staff meeting right now, but he will be joining us here shortly. Mike?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for including a picture that doesn't have me totally gray like I am now.
You can thank Ed for that.
Okay, and it's nice to see so many familiar faces and names on the screen from people who've participated in the grants program.
And you're going to be hearing a lot more from Mike in a little bit on grants and here to answer your questions. Ed? And then the others that you're going to hear from today are our District Membership Chair, Carla Herr, and our new and innovative clubs chair, Rick Zolman. Carla and Rick.
Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here. I'm looking forward to our upcoming year together. We're going to grow membership and do amazing things for Rotary as we've always done. So thank you, guys.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to join. I'm looking forward to the new Rotary year and your year as president. I'm here as a resource to help you accomplish new things with clubs from an innovative standpoint and to add new clubs to the district.
Okay, and I think that for each of you as president-elects, the one thing it may seem like we're coming in and telling you a lot of things that, oh, you need to do, or here's things to do, but we're really here to provide those resources to help your club be the best that you can be. And so the ones that are going to be your closest connections are on this screen, and they are your assistant governors, and they're here to connect you and us as district chairs and leaders, and to make sure that we are getting the right resources to you, that we're getting the right information and making it the best year it possibly can be. Because I can definitely say that up until now, as far as my Rotary years, the year I served as president, it was an exhilarating year. And it's a great opportunity to make a difference in your community and around the world. So Ed, move on. So at this point in time, we want you to be able to spend a little time with your assistant governors. Chris, are you in pretty good shape? Yay or nay?
We should be in decent shape. May have to bump people around a little bit, but yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So we have formed breakout groups, and most of you are going to be with your assistant governor. We had a couple that could not be here tonight because of health issues or some things that were going on in their lives. So we have put you with an assistant governor that is close to your area, and a lot of assistant governors and clubs we've combined two different groups together because of the numbers that we had. We wanted to have about 5 or 6 in each group. So you're going to start out with a really easy one. If you remember my little red sports car from Pre-Pets, we decided to keep with that theme, and we want you to tell about your first ride. What was your first car and what did you like or dislike about it? And then the assistant governors are going to ask you a couple of questions talking about your flagship service projects in your community, and then also your signature fundraising events. And then how have you adjusted that with COVID, or what's been happening for you with COVID? We want you to look at this in a positive method of, what can we do? Where can we go? And so at this point in time, Chris is going to send you to breakout rooms. And if we have some people still here, then we'll get you moved around quickly.
Okay, give me just a second here and get the rest of you sorted out. One.
Tom should be with Carla.
Okay. 12. Okay, just a second, Tom.
And then Jamie is with Mike, right? Oh, and RJ just came in. Okay. Oh, and he has his own group. So he's group 8. Group 8.
My employer called me. I had to protect my phony baloney job.
RJ is group 8, you said?
He's group 8. Mm-hmm. Or he should be. Kendallville
Okay.
and.
I think that's.
Okay.
That's everybody, right?
That's everybody. The rest of you, if you would like to go to a breakout room, we will certainly let you choose one or go to it, but we thought it might give you a chance to just sit and relax for a second.
I just dropped by to see how things were going.
And so, so far, pretty well. We've obviously had glitches, I think, in pretty much every session, but with the bigger picture of not getting people sent out, and I tried to get into our session too soon, and there was some guy talking about, I don't know, something. I was like, whoops, this isn't my session.
You weren't the only one.
Well, I figured you probably were, because we had said we'd get in 15 minutes early, but We couldn't do that. They only had so many different licenses, so they had to kind of switch them out. And I know they had an issue with the president nominees that are doing RLI because they had them on the same breakout session or Zoom license with 6400. So they had to switch that around. And, but you know, life happens and you just got to go with the flow. So.
And I would like to thank Dan for having changed his seat position so that the clock that's behind him doesn't look like it's whacking the back of his head.
I'll change back, Mike, because I know you really like that.
I really, really did. It was nice to see.
I'm just kind of hunched down. I went through a breakout a little bit ago, that John was a part of, and I'm trying to recover from that.
Thank you, Dan. Did your breakout go well?
I had 20 of the quietest people in the world.
Oh, not me. I just snagged them until they spoke.
Well, we Greg and I did everything but pull teeth. We got a few, but I finally told him, I said, you are going to be club presidents, right? I said, it's going to be pretty quiet. As we ask them all kinds of questions and not too much activity, but I thought, well, if that was me and I was on 3:15 their time, 3:30 by the time we started, they're probably thinking of a cold one as opposed to being in another meeting. So, but I couldn't believe they didn't give you some kind of notice at 2:15 to say, John, we're starting to record. We lost 15 minutes before we ever got in the breakout.
Yeah. So I had,
you were waiting for a signal, which
yeah, and I wasn't supposed to start recording or couldn't until they kicked us out.
Well, and because you know Greg's done a lot of that. He called me and he said, "What happened?" And I said, "I just think there was a lack of communication because John's real techie. He was waiting on. It wasn't John. I said he's waiting on a signal. I think from someone."
I clicked every button on my computer.
Yeah.
I don't know what I bought on Amazon or Cabela's, but I probably bought about. And I had my first my first session this morning. Had the, what do you call it, facilitator spoke the entire time.
Oh God.
No,
Well,
he wasn't.
It actually worked out well for me because, you know, I had Greg as my assistant, but Greg's been club president 3 times. He was the R pick for Zone 30, so he does public image. And he was, you know, I would go through a screen with some of my points. We'd ask questions. Greg would then give his input with each screen that we went through. So, he had some really great observations. So they weren't, at least they didn't hear the same voice. And at the very end, we kind of got a few of them to ask some questions, but he said, I think probably tomorrow morning will be our best. It's at 8:30. I said, we'll probably do better there than we will tomorrow afternoon on Saturday afternoon. It's kind of like, is this thing ever going to die? And just let me go as a PE. So I said, you know, the sponge only can hold so much, but I thought our presentation went well. And I was glad that I had rehearsed with Greg and said, hey, let's not have me be host. Let's co-host this together. We'll bounce off each other. So that worked well, but I just tuned in to see if Jane showed up. You know, we don't want John to have to go longer than June 30th. John told me to, yeah, see.
I'm here. Well,
There's not enough liquor in my cabinet. Okay.
John's second session, though, was probably his best of the day so far, right? Other than your own.
Oh, yeah, it was great. The one this morning that you facilitated? Oh, yes. Miss Sunshine.
I did one on fundraising ideas. And actually, this morning, they were talkative, so they were sharing. So it was good.
I wasn't able to get in on that. I did say I'd like to see the recording. The guy in the last session said the recording failed. Is that accurate?
For fundraising?
Yeah, he said, I don't think that got recorded. He said, I think it was he was the guy, from his perspective, he thought he was the guy that was supposed to be recording it. Now, maybe it would be he wasn't, so he wasn't supposed to be recording. But he said, I don't think it got recorded. I said, I wanted to participate in that, but I got hung up in a bank thing and I couldn't do it. So I kind of wanted to hear the ideas.
I
haven't been real clear on who's recording what, so.
Deb, we're going to
I've
send
got a
you
quick
to a
question.
breakout session.
For Deborah.
Chris, did you say you've got that fundraising one?
No, they weren't real clear on who was supposed to be recording what. So
Jane, did you actually facilitate that? Do you have it?
I don't have the recording. I have the PowerPoint slides that I created.
Was that?
I mean, I took theirs and then I created some, and then we had a lot more ideas. Chris, have you been able? Hold on just one moment.
Ideas.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. Can
I'm in
you?
the car. I had an appointment I had to go to.
Okay.
Deborah, what club are you from?
Valparaiso.
Okay.
So yes, she should be with Doug Mock, I think.
right, I was waiting until John got his question answered, and here you go into your room. So we'll see you as soon as
Bye.
See you in a little bit, Deb.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, I think we should offer condolences to Judy because she was facilitating a session this morning that she actually got kicked out of.
I was to facilitate, a co-facilitator for 2 back-to-back sessions. And I think I was in 4 to 5 different breakout rooms between those 2 with multiple sets of facilitators and all of us sitting there like deer in the headlight. Well, who's in charge? Who's supposed to do that? And God, yeah, thank you, Michael. You have to laugh because I understand how crazy it gets.
Well, Chris
and everybody was
Etienne,
good.
Chris Etienne sent an email this morning. It said, hey, there's 2 of us in the same breakout. And she was sending it not to me, but I was in that group. She said, so there's 2 of us in one and nobody in the other. And they said, well, Chris, you're a co-host, but I don't think anybody told Chris that. So I knew then there were some issues, but well, Judy, that's not the first time you've been kicked out of something. You've been kicked out of how many bars?
Yeah, hey, don't tell.
There
was one man who really wanted to not be in a foundation session and tried 4 different times and ended up, he said, back right where he started. He couldn't get out of it. So that was kind of humorous because he was truly frustrated.
My first car that I had to drive was a 1961 Chevrolet 4-door. Okay?
Okay, time out.
What?
Time out. Is it time to pull them back?
That's what I was going to ask you. I had my timer set for, because we said 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's practically 10 to 15 minutes, but we need them back before 5. Ron John's also trying to get in. I sent him the link. I thought he was getting ready to get in, so.
If he's not using the right Zoom account, he's somewhere else. Because I had that problem this morning. I was logged into one of 3 different Zoom accounts, and I was, yeah.
You want me to help teach you some technology, Chris?
Oh, God. I don't
Dan,
think those words came out of your mouth. And you
That's totally
serious and own it. Oh, tech what?
Okay,
you just
Mike, Ed will be controlling your slides, it looks like. We had it all set up yesterday.
I got that fixed.
Oh, you did
I got
get
that
it
fixed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then you
I
should
had to
be
make
able-
you both co-hosts. So
Okay, so will Mike be able to do his own then and click through?
yeah.
Okay.
He just has to request access from Ed, and you'll be
You
able to
just
click through your own
request
slides.
access at the top from Ed, and then you can click through it, or we can do it for you, whichever way you prefer.
Let's just keep it simple and I'll ask Ed to advance.
Okay.
Mine name is spelled wrong on the list. Do I need to sign in tomorrow as with the misspelling? Or will my name work? They were saying sign in as whatever.
It was based on your Zoom email address. And because I have so many Zoom accounts, the machine that I was on, I hadn't realized that I was on the wrong district Zoom account to log in correctly.
Okay.
Because I have a secretary. Well, it's based off email address. So as long as your email address is the same as the email address you're logging into, you should be fine. Even if there's another typo somewhere else.
Okay, thanks.
Did you give them like a 1 minute countdown or something in the breakouts?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
So John Frischi, I've got you beat, a 1964 red Chevelle. They don't even make them anymore.
No, but I wish I had it back.
Okay. They're on a 60-second countdown and they've all been alerted. So
It was a 4-speed. It was made to go fast, straight. My wife couldn't drive it. I had to sell it to get married.
that's what happened to my motorcycle.
Bad day for Sue.
Mine was, well, the first one I owned was an MGB-GT. I bought it myself, and then we had to sell it when I got pregnant because it didn't have a back seat, so it didn't work. I was like, why do we have to sell it? It was my baby.
One baby for another.
That's right.
If you had to do it all over again, would you still have the car?
No, I'd have the babies. They're going to go, what in the world are you talking about? Welcome back as you're coming back. Woo, they're really flying in now. All right. So who would like to share something that came out of their breakout session?
Oh.
Just very quickly.
Hey, I will.
Okay, Bob.
I got my name changed.
Oh, good.
Missy helped me get my name changed, so that came out of it.
Did you have something, RJ?
Oh. The fun one is Renee from Auburn and her police record over her driving as an 18-year-old in her Charger. It was straight out of Hot Rod Lincoln. Great story.
It's not one I really want my grandchildren to know, but
it stays with us. What's here in Rotary stays in Rotary with us. So did you have a chance to share some fundraising ideas and some different service projects?
We were with 2 other people and they must be in the other room, but we got to hear about, and Debbie is, she's more knowledgeable. Tell them about your wonderful project that Valparaiso came up with this year. I guess Doug's in the other room, so.
Well, for our 100th year celebration, being a club in Valparaiso. Oh, Doug's here. Let him tell you now. Doug, unmute. Doug was the chairman of this committee, so he can tell you about it.
You were doing just fine, Debbie. Well, to celebrate our 100th anniversary, which is this month, we wanted to do something significant in the community as far as joining in on a project. And as the committee evaluated different things, just to cut to the chase, we partnered with the Porter County Public Library and committed $100,000 towards the construction of a children's library garden, which is now complete. And we're having our grand opening May 12th with the Lieutenant Governor and community leaders going to be there, as well as Rotarians that participated in it. So we were excited to be able to partner with them because it really fits 2 areas of focus for Rotary, which is literacy and community development. And it's a beautiful park for children to enjoy reading and just and be outside, and it also accommodates the library for being able to have room for all these programs that they have that they don't have inside. So plus the community can use it at large just to have lunch or have events, weddings or company parties, that type of thing. So it's a beautiful project. We're really excited about it.
And the
That's fantastic.
the gate handle opening, whatever, will be the
Oh,
Rotary
well,
wheel.
it's called the Rotary Library Garden so we got the naming rights. And the entrance is a big door, looks like opening up a book. And it has the Rotary symbol as the door handle. And on the inside of the door, it has the 4-way test. And then there's a donor wall that recognizes Rotary as well as the donors.
That's fantastic. And I think, you know, that's looking at a great need in the community or a special thing that can enhance your community for many years to come. That's what we talked a little bit about in our fundraising ideas session this morning. Is it's not about necessarily as much, I mean, it's important for today, but it's what can we say we're giving that's going to be here 20 years from now, and how's it going to affect our children and grandchildren? So that's where I always look at fundraising projects and community service projects of how sustaining and long lasting they can be. In the interest of your time, because we do now have a couple of training sessions that we want to do for you today, you know, we were cut from about 90 minutes per session 3 times during regular pets to 60 minutes a session 3 times during pets. And so we've lost basically a whole session. So we're trying to give you an overview and give you some key points in each section to get you started, let you find out who those people are that you can contact if you need more information. All of these resources will be on our 6540 website. So Ed's going to start sharing. And Ron John Kinney has now joined us, and he's going to talk a little bit about the Rotary Foundation for us.
Am I on? Am I on?
You are on.
I am on. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I was not able to join you earlier. I had my official work commitment till 4 o'clock with the faculty meetings at the university. So I'm glad Jane was able to accommodate me at 4 o'clock. I just want to briefly talk about the foundation. I believe I am supporting you from a foundation point of view for the next year. First and foremost thing I want to ask you, if you have not had an account at the Rotary, please get that account, because that is the most important part from a foundation point of view. And if you do need any help, any of us can help you, and Chris Whitten is there, or you can contact me. We will try to help you. And one of the reasons we want you to get that account is lots of foundation information is available for you over there, and what your club has been able to do last 5 years, that information is available, because that'll come very handy, because very first job probably as a foundation representative, if you have one in your club, we don't want to call it a chair now because many of the clubs are too small, and probably PE can ask for a volunteer to run the foundation side. So that person probably will be able to get information from the website at the Rotary and set the goal for the next year. That's the most important part for the foundation representative from the club. The goal setting part with the help of the other club members, and you have information if you have the Rotary account to look at the 5 years worth of data right up there on the website available. So one of the reasons we want to make foundation important, of course, is what Rotary can do with the foundation contribution that all Rotarians are making. So has Mike already talked, Jane?
He is next after you.
After me, okay.
Yes.
I did not know whether, because I was not here.
Right.
Mike probably will give you a lot more information about foundation too, because he has a lot more experience from the past. And what I want to bring to you is a brief overview of what the foundation does. And some of you probably are aware, some of you are not. The goal setting is important so that you have a marker to achieve by the end of the year. Now, the contribution that you make are typically going to do good things in your district and around the world. So in your district, I think Mike will give a lot more information about the district grants. Now, before we get to the grants part, the contribution that you make can go to the annual fund or the polio fund. And there is another fund, which is endowment. We'll talk about that later. And once you donate or make the contribution as a club, as an individual, that money will come back to the district. About 50% of that will come back, and that money will be then available for us to do the district grants and global grants. District grants, we've been very successful. Mike will report probably later on. And district grant, the deadline is coming very soon, March 31st, if you are interested for the next year to do some projects. The global grant part, the 50% of the district designated fund that is coming back to the district, we are in a position to support some project around the world to make an impactful project. And we have been very successful in our district. I just looked at just a couple of days ago, since 2013, our district has completed 26 global grants around the world. And right now we are working on 39 global grants as of now. These are all from 2013, since 2013. So we are working on 39. We have submitted or under review at the Rotary International 6 global grants. And 1 we are waiting for their approval. And also 5 are under draft conditions. That means they might be applying very soon. So if you look at it, we are close to 80 global grants since 2013. So that's a great success for our district. So we are very much on board to make some impactful projects around the world. Now, the contribution earlier I mentioned, these global grants can happen through the share fund. That is 50% coming back, 50% sitting with the RI, and then they will match any contribution we put from our DDF, and they will match, and the global grant happens to be supported by the partner district around the world and partner club around the world. Now, the contribution that you make are supporting district grants and the global grants. In addition to that, there are something called Peace Centers supported by Rotary Foundation, where we get to nominate one person to the RI who may be able to study 2 years and get a master's to become a Peace Fellow. So that is a possibility. We have had in the past 2 Peace Fellows. One of them became a fellow, one of them rejected for some other better opportunity. But we have had at least 3 of them alternates. So there is an opportunity from our foundation contribution supporting about 60 Peace Fellows every year. And one of the advantage we have when we make a contribution is to recognize individuals who have made the contribution to Rotary Foundation. That recognition, some of you are already aware of, is sustaining Paul Harris Fellow. As you know, Paul Harris Fellow is when you make a contribution of $1,000, you'll be recognized as our founder, Paul Harris, the Paul Harris Fellow recognition. Those who have not reached 1,000, we recognize them as sustaining Paul Harris Fellow. In addition to that, there are other types of recognitions available as your generosity is appreciated by both your club and the district and the Rotary International. So that could be multiple Paul Harris Fellow, that could be Paul Harris Society member, that could be a benefactor, that could be a Bequest Society member, or that could be a major donor and then beyond. Now, all of these recognitions, the funds that you give will be coming back 50%. and other 50% is used for matching for the global grants. And of the 50% that comes in, we are also using that money for the district grants. So there is a tremendous amount of opportunity for both the clubs and the Rotarians to make an impact around the world as well as locally through district grants. And if you have any other questions relating to foundation, I do not want to spend a lot of time discussing this. I know Jane has very limited time. She told me to take no more than 5 to 7 minutes, and I think I have given more than enough information right now. But any type of foundation question you have, I am more than happy to support you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Jane.
Thank you, Ranjan. And I know that you probably have a lot more questions because we were just barely able to scratch the surface. If you put them in chat, we will make sure that we make a copy of that and we will get that information back to you. And then, as we said, Ranjan is certainly available at any point in time to answer any of your questions personally. If you want, we'll move on now, Ed, to Mike in talking about Rotary grant programs. Mike?
Okay, and if we could go to the first slide. I'm going to spend some time. Oh, things are totally changed. I'm going to try and adapt on the fly. I'm not going to be able to tell you everything in the 5 to 7 minutes that I've got, but later on, I'm going to tell you where you can get more detailed information. So as this slide says, copies are going to be available. So please listen, don't scribble, and take frantic notes. Now, the Rotary Foundation makes 2 types of grants. And as an incoming president, you may be faced with your club wanting to do some grants, or you may want to stimulate the club and encourage them to do some grants. So briefly, these 2 types of grants are global grants, which are for large projects which require the cooperation of 2 or more Rotary clubs from different parts of the world. The minimum budget is $30,000, and many of these global grants have budgets in excess of $150,000 to $200,000. It's also a grant that is totally reviewed, approved, and supervised by the Rotary Foundation. Now, district grants are intended to support projects that are smaller in size. And in District 6540, our maximum grant size is $3,000. And it's local Rotarians that are actually supervising these projects. But the thing to remember, whether it's a district grant or a global grant, you have to meet one of the 7 areas of focus of the Rotary Foundation. And that's basic education and literacy, maternal and child health, peace and conflict resolution, disease prevention, water and sanitation, economic development, and environmental causes. Ed? I'm going to start out with the most simplest grants and the one that most clubs go for. Now, those are district grants. And I want to reiterate, these are not funds that come from district or Rotary dues. These are funds that come from the Rotary Foundation. And I'll reiterate in just a moment what Ranjan had to say earlier. Now, each district sets its own rules for its district grant program. So if you've got a question about a district grant, don't call up a person in another district and ask them for help, because their rules are probably different. It's intended for projects that can be small and completed normally within a 3 to 6 month period. And one of the things in 6540 is that we like to do grants where the Rotarians are actively involved in the project itself, getting their hands dirty, so to speak, rather than just writing a check to an organization. And you don't have to do this alone. You can do it in conjunction with another Rotary club. In fact, there are 3 clubs or 4 clubs in the South Bend area that are going together on a grant application for this year. You can do it in conjunction with another organization, your church or anything like that. And these dollars come from money that was contributed to the annual programs fund 3 years ago, as Ranjan had mentioned. The annual programs fund, if you just write a check to the Rotary Foundation, that's where it's going to go. It's not going to go to polio, or it's not going to go to the endowment fund. So after that 3 years, 50% of it comes back to District 6540. And of that, 50% of what comes back is eligible for district grants. The other 50% is available to support our global grant projects from our clubs and also the Polio Plus program. So in an average year, we're going to have between $50,000 and $70,000 that's going to be available to support club projects through the district grant program. Ed, thank you. Now, the district grants have a specific cycle. This cycle opens on January 1. It's the application process. It closes on March 31. So you've just got a short period of time if your club wants to do a district grant for the next Rotary year for you to be able to apply. When your application comes in, we're going to review it, but we make no funding decisions until after the window closes. So that's going to occur in April. We'll give you a preliminary approval in May, but Rotary Foundation has final approval on this. And normally that doesn't occur until June. So we expect you to do your project in the Rotary year. So starting in July, hopefully ending in May to get your final report in. And that final report, we want to have it no later than June 30th at the end of the Rotary year. Because the way that this district grants work in 6540 is it's a reimbursement program. You're going to spend the money up front, you'll submit your final report, and then when we approve your final report, we will write a check to the club to reimburse you for what you had spent the money on. And the district grant program is been operating in this sort of format for many years. Okay. So in order to learn more about district grants, here are some resources. They're all available on Rotary6540.org. All the application materials are there. You can view the PowerPoint slides from the district grant webinar. And you can view the slides of this particular presentation. They're already out there. And also, all the materials you would need to learn more about district grants are available for you to download on the homepage download section. And in fact, there is also a link in the district link section, which is at the top of the homepage. You can listen to the recording of the district grant webinar that was given earlier this year. So let's go on to global grants. I know this is a busy slide, but if your club has experienced people within it who have done district or done global grants, there's new information here because some things that are going to be changing come July 1. But global grants allow your club to do large international projects with financial help from the Rotary Foundation. But it does require that you partner with a Rotary club near where that project is going to be. It requires 2 Rotary clubs in 2 different parts of the world. Your application and approval process is going to be totally online. There's not a piece of paper that you're going to fill out. And it's a process that you can do in stages. You can start your application, stop it, save it, and come back to it at a later date. You can also get help from District 6540 with them supporting your project by committing funds that are available for the district to match what you want to do. Those funds are available at an 80% match from the Rotary Foundation. So any district funds that are committed to the project, the Rotary Foundation will match at 80%. Those funds have to be approved by the district governor and the foundation chair. So you must be in communication with them to get those matching dollars. Any cash that your club commits to the project does not get any matching dollars. And you also have to pay a 5% surcharge for the handling of those cash contributions. But cash contributions to a qualified district or global grant project does earn your members Paul Harris Fellow credit. Now, as I'd said earlier, the foundation staff and trustees approve and monitor these projects. There's no local involvement at all. And both you and the club you partner with must be qualified to participate in a global grant. In order to get that qualification, in District 6540, you have to take an online course which is offered through the Rotary Learning Center at the Rotary website. And you have to complete a memorandum of understanding that's signed by your president and president-elect that essentially says you're going to abide by all the rules and regulations. Your qualification lasts for a year, and the nice thing is at the end of that year, if you want to be requalified, it's only a 15-minute online class. So in District 6540, what kind of projects have we done? Ranjan had talked earlier about all the different things that are going on right now, but you don't have to be a large club to qualify for a global grant. For instance, we had the Munster Club, which is about 30 members, put in a water distribution system in Honduras. And we had the Kendallville Club, which is about 50 members, provide dental equipment and supplies to a dental clinic in rural Mexico. We had the Fort Wayne Club put in several $100,000 cardiac catheterization lab in India. And we had the Elkhart Morning Club, which is only 14 members, be a sponsor for a computer lab and building sanitation facilities for girls in India. And we had the Sherrville Club, which is about 15, 16 members, actually implement a blood bank program in India. So some tips for doing global grants. One of the things is that it's not something you need to do by yourself. There's lots of resources available in the district and people who have experience that can help you out to find your way through that process. And sometimes it's not what you know, but who you know, from the standpoint of keeping in contact with either the grants chair, the foundation chair, or our international chair. You also, in order to participate in a global grant, do not have to be a sponsor. You can just be a contributor and be an active participant through your financial resources to that project. It's important to ask questions if you're confused about anything or uncertain about anything. And I'm going to be a resource for that, as is Ranjan and other people, including your assistant governor. Seek advice at every level of the process, because it's easier to ask this, what you think is a stupid question, and get it a quick answer. And it's important, if you want to undertake a global grant, that you try and have as much of your financing set up as much as you possibly can, rather than try and do it on the fly. And if you're looking for projects that you'd like to participate in, this website, www.rotarygrants.org, is exclusively devoted to Rotary projects, over 400 of them right now around the world, that are seeking partners for global grants that they would like to do. And if you get the right project, it can truly energize your club to spur it on to do other things. And in conclusion, if we could go to the final slide. This is my contact information. You can scribble now if you wish. And also, our international chair, Steve Van Scoik, has extensive experience in the administration of global grants, and his job is to try and get clubs to be more involved in the global grant process. And that concludes the remarks that I have for this section of our session.
Thank you very much, Mike. In the interest of time, we're going to move on. If you have any questions on this, certainly put them in the chat or we'll follow up with Mike. The other part is that one of my goals this coming year is that we will have idea exchanges, and we will each month, and we'll focus in on grants on one of those, and then foundation giving and ways to increase your foundation giving in your clubs on another one. So we'll have some opportunities where we can just kind of get in and share together. So at this point in time, membership, it's, you know, this is going to be a really exciting year in one respect. It's also going to be probably still a little bit challenging for you because we're going to be coming off of COVID. Hopefully, and that's going to be great that we're hopefully going to be meeting back in person for a lot of us that have not been, but it also, we're going to have to really pump up and resurge and renew and re-energize our members. And so we have two people here tonight to help you with that. The first one is Carla Herr, Membership Attraction and Engagement. Carla?
Hi, happy Friday, everybody. As Jane said, my name is Carla Herr. I am the membership chair, and I am so happy that you guys have all decided to take on the role of club president. It's an amazing opportunity for you. I'd like to reassure you that you're not alone. District 6540 is here to support you, and all of these people that you're seeing on the screen, our entire job and position is to make sure you're able to accomplish what you would like to in your club. So you're not alone. I would like to recommend when you're building your support team in your club that the first thing you do is choose a club membership chair. As Jane mentioned, membership is so important. It's a big push. When Rotary International is pushing it, it's important on all levels. So membership is important, and having a club membership chair will help you to focus your energies on keeping your members happy that are currently with your club and adding new members. And I also need to send emails to someone, so I would prefer if it wasn't the club president, but if you're the only email address I have, you're going to get all of my information. When you walk out of here today from me, if you remember nothing else, it's go to my club, pick a club membership chair. You need a champion to hold on to this cause. You need a keeper of information. So please do that for all of us. Right now, we have about 50% of our clubs with a membership chair. We'd like to see that number be way higher. We are currently working on a membership initiative for Zone 3031. It is an attraction and engagement initiative. It was well researched, and it's fascinating and interesting and pretty simple. So it's being led by your assistant governors who have been trained in facilitating the engagement and attraction. And it's a wonderful way to get your group on the same page for membership. We offer, just a brief overview, we offer 12 engagement strategies and 12 attraction strategies. Your club or member, board member or group members of your club decide on the top 3 that they'd like to address. Once you pick the top 3 items from each group, you will focus on one specific item for each year for the next 3 years. And your AG will help you work up an action plan to focus on that item. It helps everybody be on the same page, have a focus, and keep membership in the front of their minds. We are a group of members. We're the lifeblood. Rotary is all members, and we need the members to carry on. So when we're talking about membership, it's not just simply for numbers or for money. It's so we can reach more people. So please keep that in mind and reach out to your AG or me if you haven't heard anything about this, and we'll certainly help you to proceed. And if you had a membership chair, that could be their task. So once again, please implement a membership chair. The last thing is attraction and engagement. To me, they go hand in hand. The way to attract new members and to keep current members is to have a strong and vibrant club. It's a chicken or egg scenario. It doesn't matter which one came first. If you want to attract members and keep members, you have to have a strong and vibrant club. It doesn't matter how many members your club has if you're losing them. It doesn't matter how many members you gain if you're losing them out the back door. So it really is a balance. We need to approach both sides. The ideal way to keep your members involved and passionate is by participating in service projects. It helps your members have a sense of purpose and belonging and accomplishment. When your club votes on something, all members, come together and they rally and they focus on a new project. But the attraction part is, after you decide on a project, you need to promote it. You advertise it, you share it, you tell your friends on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok if you have it. Whatever you can do to show your members and their names and what you're doing is fantastic. Rotary is always been very shy and reluctant to advertise all of the good works we do. But in order to get more people involved or excited about what we're doing, we have to share what we've already done. So I agree with Jane that this is going to be a challenging year in some ways, but I also feel like people are ready to help out their communities. They're ready to dive in and do good things. So give them the opportunity. And the more members we have, the more ideas and viewpoints in the hands we have, the more people, we have more reach. It is about doing more amazing things in our community and world. I read a quote today from President Theodore Roosevelt that said, "Do what you can with what you've got where you are." And that is what we do as Rotarians. So please remember, this isn't something you have to do. This is something you get to do. It's an honor and a privilege, and I hope you embrace that. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Carla. And I think the thing to remember too is, and you'll probably hear it tomorrow from Shaker, I wouldn't be surprised, is that one of his mantras is the do more, grow more. So they go hand in hand, and that is when your club is active and doing more things in the community so that they're seeing you as an active member, then you're going to grow more and you're going to add members and you're going to energize the members that you have. And then when you grow more, you have more people to do more. So it's a great way to just keep that rolling. It's kind of like Carla said, which one's the chicken or the egg? Well, they support each other. With that, we're also looking in our district at several new and innovative clubs. And the district chair for that is Rick Zolman, and he's going to share just a little bit about some of the buzzwords that you may hear about new and innovative clubs. Rick?
Good evening, everyone. Just want to jump right in here since we're running a little bit late. One thing that has been positive for Rotary and Rotary growth of new clubs is the use of Zoom or an e-meeting as a tool in our basket. Most clubs met from an e-meeting standpoint, and we'll talk about the type of e-meeting club here in just a second, but it's really something that we can use to grow very quickly. Just going to walk through the slide as far as types of clubs. There are specific things that we can discuss further at a different time. A satellite club is basically a club within a club. So it will have, it needs 8 members to charter. It gives that group of folks a flexible club structure from the standpoint it doesn't have to meet at the same time as the regular club. It can do its own projects, its own service. It does have its own board. The cause-based club is really one that has taken off greatly. And I've been on calls since October where there are things that are happening that are really unbelievable. And a lot of that connects through Zoom and e-meetings. Currently in the district, we are working on a veterans-based club in Fort Wayne. We are also working on a Miami tribe-based club, but there are things, and these are things that you can talk to your club about, and it comes from the passion of your club members. In Ohio, they're doing a Whirlpool Corporation club. And near Indy, they have a Burmese population that is large, and they chartered a Burmese club about 18 months ago. out of Minnesota, there is a club that end sexual and human trafficking. That one actually is an international club at this point, so it's really cool that folks can connect from that particular standpoint. One of the things that we are looking at as a district for a cause-based club / passport club would be a Lake Michigan cause-based club. We are looking actively for a champion, someone who wants to step in and lead that moving forward. So that would be terrific if there's folks out there that have that. E-clubs, pretty simple. It's just clubs that basically meet online. Their meetings are sometimes less frequent. They can, someone who travels a lot would love to be a part of, would be a very good fit for an e-club. Many types of clubs have, as I mentioned, we're using the e-club or the Zoom as a part of their meetings now. So it's a possibility to grow from there. A passport club allows members to attend other Rotary Club meetings as long as they attend a specified number in their own club. This one definitely has less frequent meetings. It's a focus on service or social project activities, and typically has a lower due structure. And then the community-based Rotaract Club is one where it focuses on young adults. It did have an age restriction that has kind of gone away. They do have a lower due structure. Right now, in our district, we're working with the Michigan City Club and the LaPorte Club to develop a Rotaract Club at the Purdue University Northwest campus. And what will happen with that, it will be kind of housed or based at Purdue University Northwest, but it will actually be and can be a community-based club where there are folks from the surrounding communities that participate as a club member. I am here to serve. One thing that I bring to the table that I learned a great deal was I was the district, or excuse me, the personal representative to the Summit City South Club that chartered in 2016. I learned a tremendous amount during that process, and would love to share those things with you.
Thank you, Rick. I know that some of you attended your first cohort meeting today. I'm hoping that you were there. And so you had your first session with PEs. I sat in on a session with strengthening your membership, and they had some really great ideas in the one I was in, especially with sharing some Rotary resources and tools like the Rotary Club Health Check and some of those types of things. So that's one reason why we're just a little bit just touching the surface on a lot of things tonight, even though we are going a little over, but sit in on those sessions for PEs so that you're getting more in-depth information. They're giving you good resources to go to on Rotary.org and in the Learning Center and the Brand Center, depending on the program. And so make sure you're getting to that. I think you'll find that as we go through things, I'm one that I go and find those quotes that I think, and this has always been one that's been near and dear to me, is that, and Shaker is calling us the change makers, and we are. We're going to be coming off of a year that's been very different, and we have a great opportunity ahead of us. We can be the change that we wish to see in the world, both in our local clubs and in our communities. And you get to lead the way with that in your own local communities. So be excited about it. Be encouraged, ask for help and assistance where you need as far as resources. Ed, next. I think there's one more. If not, I think we were going to give you just tomorrow morning, we start early, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 for Central, with one of your breakout sessions for PEs and PE nominees. And then we'll be back for a district session in the morning. And then you get to hear Shaker, and he is just always phenomenal. I've been impressed with all two plenary sessions so far. I've learned something. You know, I always look at a conference and I go, okay, if I can take one thing out of maybe each session or out of each day. Make sure you take a few minutes this evening. I know you're ready to have a break, get away, but think about what's your one takeaway from today. What is the one thing that you want to say, okay, I want to do this in my club, or I need to remember to make sure I'm doing that. As Carla said, she wants you to get a membership chair. Mike and Ron John should have said, we want you to also have a foundation chair in place. And we're going to talk about some of those as we go through too. But start that process right now of what are those things that we need to make sure we have. And I'll be sticking around for a few minutes. If you have any questions, some of the other leaders can, but we are over time, and I appreciate you staying with us for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Lots of good things still to come. Bye all. Take care.
Nice to see everyone. Have a
Enjoy
good
it.
night.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.